Yeah, what up? It's your boy T Feezy back with a video. Let's get right into it. The Guys Honest Truth podcast is on a break right now. We're in between seasons, going into season 2. We'll be back next week. Benita T is on vacation. But the grind don't stop, so I'll be dropping some videos until then. And again, don't forget to like and subscribe and comment, and let's get right into it. If you don't know, if you do, P. Diddy just dropped a video on Revolt with Charlemagne the God. We're gonna be reacting to that today, and I'm just gonna give you my commentary on that. So let's get into it.
If Trump gets elected, I really do believe in my heart there'll be a race war. That's why this message is not just to black people. You know what I'm saying? This message is to everybody. You know, this man is really trying to turn us against each other and put us in a situation. America messed up. Me and you've been talking for a minute about, chopping it up and some real talk, you know what I'm saying, where it's not but the whole social media effect. Like when I look at the videos of Malcolm, Martin, Stokely, you know what I'm saying? I wish I could have seen a black man conversation. I couldn't have talked to nobody about what we're gonna talk about but you. You know what I'm saying? That's a testament to your journalism. Man, you're an inspiration to me, bro.
I wanna see where you at. See where you at. You know, you sparked a crazy conversation when you told everybody to hold their vote.
Yeah.
I wanna see where you at with it.
So, a couple of months I told everybody hold their vote hostage. A lot of things have gone on since then. None of us expected. I think this president has done a great job of rattling America. When you move in fear, you don't have any leverage. The way I felt before is the way I still feel. Things have got too serious of a point. Seeing what's going on, white men like Trump need to be banished. That way of thinking is real dangerous. This man literally threatened the lives of us and our families about going to vote.
Stand back and stand by.
Stand back and stand by.
Yeah.
We're in a war. We're not taking this like it's a war. We taking this like, we're in a presidential election. No, we're in a war of love versus hate. The number one priority is to get Trump out of office. The tribe of people that have the responsibility and really should be scared to death of this man is white people.
Explain.
If this man is elected, we're not standing by no more getting killed. We're not scared of anybody standing up and standing by. We're on the verge of a race war.
Okay, we're on the verge of a race war. Why is he promoting there's going to be a race war? Sounds like Puffy is trying to get people into some shit he ain't gonna be into. Like, we all know, look at the interview, right? They're at Diddy's house, overlooking the ocean. Now, if some stuff pop off, right, Diddy ain't gonna be nowhere to be found. So why is he trying to push a race war? He's gonna be behind a gated community, behind a gate. He's gonna be in a house with a gate with armed security.
If people in America want a race war, they'll not vote. I'm an independent, first of all. When I vote, I try to do what's best for my community.
Let's be clear on that. You're not standing behind your decision to hold your vote anymore. You want people to go out there and vote.
It would be irresponsible of me to
What a contradiction. He just said if people didn't want a race war, they shouldn't vote.
Have us hold our vote hostage. But it would also be irresponsible of me to just let this moment go by. The world is watching, and not do everything I can to make sure that going forth that we're a part of the narrative, that we own our politics. And so I'm launching one of the boldest movements that I've ever launched. And it's called Our Black Party.
Okay.
It's time for us to have our own black political party, unapologetically. Because right now, if you look at the debates, we're not even a part of the conversation.
Not at all.
We're not a part of the conversation. We don't have any political power. We don't have any political leverage. And so we started Our Black Party with some young, fearless black activists, elected officials, and I've stepped up and put the money behind it. This is the biggest threat and the only option that we have right now as far as making a change, taking our own self-responsibility and accountability to be educated and empowered with our vote.
So what's the goal for our Black Party?
Our Black Party's number one goal is to unify behind a black agenda. That,
which is more the bull, more the same stuff. We don't need that. We do not need that. Diddy is only, how are we begging for a seat at their table? Okay? Again, I've said this before. We do not have a military. We have nothing to fight with. But we're begging for a seat at their table. This is still their house. This is still their house. Okay? Diddy is just trying to keep his wealth inside of the system and making it look like he's really for black people. Okay? Let's go.
That's it. You could be a part of the Democratic Party, the Republican Party, you could be an independent, but if you black, you wasn't born Republican, you wasn't born Democrat, you wasn't born independent, you was born black. And we have to seize our political power, because it'll just be more the same. Being pushed this way, being pushed that way, and we expecting
a different result. But the definition of insanity is like doing the same thing over and over the same way, expecting a different result, and it's not going to happen. So we have to change the tone. We got to start with us stepping up and really taking the responsibility and accountability to be.
Again, these two guys are the wrong people to speak on black revolutionary, black people getting their own, because these two niggas right here work for white people. So if you think you're gonna get some real change with these two dudes right here, okay, where they're being paid, you think they're really, Diddy out of all people is gonna risk his wealth? Sure he is.
Be a part of this political movement.
The hardest part of that is going to be getting other black people to buy into it.
This is not for all black people. You know what I'm saying? This is not for the scary ones. This is for the ones that want to move things forward and want to get to the smoke. A black person spends an average of like 5 hours on Instagram a day. If you could give Instagram that time, 15 minutes you could give to educating yourself. And our Black Party's that platform. So when we get down to the local elections, when we get down to the school board, we get down to the judges and the justices, that's so confusing for us. We've never played this game. This is another level of gangster. But I played this game before, you know? I started in 2004 when Vote or Die, and this is the evolution of that thought, of that empowerment, of that independence, of us taking self-accountability, so we're not caught with our pants down like this election. Right now, we're not gonna get nothing. We caught with our pants down. We're not organized, we're not ready to really take this on.
Let me ask you, what's the difference between Vote or Die Diddy and Hold Your Vote Diddy? And what occurred between those two phases that made the change happen?
I went through the experience of politics. I played the game with the Democratic Party.
And this is on the heels of Ice Cube with the platinum plan with Trump. Diddy just had to throw his hat in the ring because he's trying to get something out of this, and he's siding with Joe Biden. Okay, let's go.
The people that I went and campaigned for, after they got elected, I don't feel like they really did anything to change the reality of black people. Like I was blessed enough to find God come to me and tell me my purpose. And he told me my purpose is to play a part in saving the black race.
Really? Oh, really? God came to him. It ain't the God we thinking of. Satan is a god too. Okay, let's not forget that. And I really strongly believe he ain't talking about the creator of everything. He's talking about probably Satan.
The Vote or Die Diddy was about politics and, trying to be supportive. And also, they kind of guilt us in the votings, But as I evolved, I realized this is a business. This is a transaction. This is the closest thing to the streets than the streets that I've seen.
That's why I don't think there's nothing wrong with asking these politicians for something for your vote.
Yeah. You can't keep on giving your power away for free. This is black insanity. We keep on doing the same thing over and over, the same way, expecting a different result. Now we in a trick bag, as my mother would say. You know what I'm saying?
Explain that.
That's old Harlem hustler lingo, is when you're in a situation like in a catch-22. Between COVID hitting us and because we weren't organized for this election, we have no choice now to get Trump out of there. It's a shame and it's our responsibility that we did not get anything out of putting Biden in the place he's in after the primaries.
They gave us Senator Harris as the VP. I mean, those are some of the...
Now, just look at this guy's eyes. If he looks stressed, he looks his actions are erratic. His eyes look wild. Just look at his eyes. Now, what is the sudden need to get Trump out of the office for Diddy right now? Okay, and where we at? We at almost 8 minutes. Now let's just see what Jaguar White has to say.
You're a jealous little bitch, running around diddling little boys and shit. You a punk. Why is anybody afraid of you when you ain't nothing but a punk?
She's talking about
all
Diddy.
Of them girls and all of them young boys that you put on planes, flying here and there so that you could sexually harass them and torment them and coerce them into doing sexual acts that they didn't want to do because you had dirt on them or because you had money on them. Those are all federal crimes. Check the statutes. If you put a bitch or a nigga on a plane and you're taking them to be sexually abused in any way, that's trafficking. That's 10 to 20.
She's absolutely right. That's why when pimps take a prostitute across state lines, they get a lot of them end up getting life in prison, because that's then when you go across state lines with a person that's intended to sell sex, that is considered sex trafficking. All right, let's go.
You'll do more time in jail than Shine did for covering your ass.
All right. So now you got that. Now let's just see why would he want to get Trump out of the office. All right.
Thank you very much for being with us today as we signed this crucial legislation to combat online sex trafficking and bring criminals to justice. The people behind me have been working on this long and hard. That's political as well as some of our great citizens, and we appreciate it. I also want to thank Governor Kenneth Mapp of Michigan, and most importantly, I want to thank the survivors and families who join us today. I'm signing this bill in your honor, and we are all together, politicians, both Republican and Democrat, signing this and representing this to you in your honor. So thank you all very much. We very much appreciate it. You're very brave.
Trump has been draining the swamp, in his words. He's getting rid of the pedophiles. That's the high-level pedophiles. The ones that's been sex trafficking. He's been draining the swamp. So you ask yourself, why would Diddy is so important for him to get Trump out of the office now? Just look at his eyes. They'll never lie. Let's go.
You endured what no person on earth should ever have to endure, and we are going to do everything in our power to make sure that traffickers are brought to a swift and firm justice. And I've heard statistics where trafficking in the world is more now than it ever has been ever in the history of the world. And you wouldn't believe that with, modern day everything. But they use modern day better than law enforcement can use modern day, whether it's the internet or anything else. And you wouldn't believe that, but trafficking is probably worse today than at any time in history. So I want to thank you for your courage and thank you for helping survivors across our country. And you are not alone. You are not alone. This is a very important day.
And this is all allegedly. All allegedly. I don't want to get sued, but it's allegedly.
Anybody want to say anything?
This is so important to all of us, and I thank you, Mr. President, so much for signing this bill into law. It means so much to our family to lose your child who has been trafficked, which is modern day slavery in our country, and to get that call on Christmas Eve that your one daughter, your oldest child, has been brutally murdered because she said no, because she did not want to be a part of this, is the worst thing. Unfortunately, my daughter was not the first person who this has happened to. And thanks to you and everyone here, hopefully there won't be many more after her that have to endure this pain. The pain that it has brought on my family is unimaginable.
So there's an honor of your daughter.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Now, can you see why the urgency to get Trump out of office? So let's get back to the video. Let's see what else Puffy got to say.
And over to get Trump out. Shame, and it's our responsibility that we did not get anything out of putting Biden in the place he's in after the primaries.
They gave us Senator Harris as the VP. I mean, those are some of the things we were asking for. Black agenda could be way stronger, way stronger. He said he put a black woman on the Supreme Court. We don't even know if that's gonna happen now.
Hey, when you look at it, we don't have no choice. You know what I'm saying? You can say what you want about Biden. I can't.
What do you mean, Diddy? We don't have a choice. We don't have a choice? Why is he trying to speak as he is every black person on the planet? Diddy is literally trying to use black people as a shield for him.
And say I love to pick either, but hey, we got to get him in office, and then we got to hold him accountable.
So how do we do that? In addition to voting, what else is Sean Combs gonna do?
From Trayvon Martin, I've been trying to figure out like how can we end this? Trying to think about solutions, because you could be angry, and you could march, you could protest, and people could hear you, but that don't mean that they're making any changes. So for me, it was us looking within ourselves and saying, let's not wait for these people to come and save us. Let's not wait for the Democratic Party. Let's not wait for government. Let's own our politics. Black politics. We need to own that. We need to have a platform, an institution that's going to support and breed young black politicians and social leaders that have integrity, not just in the quiet rooms, publicly.
One question about race in the first presidency.
One question about race, and I was hurt. I didn't feel like Joe Biden really defended us. I want to make sure we don't miss the importance of this time. We've never had a political party. We wasn't born Republican and Democrat. We don't even get we don't get talked about. We're not a topic of conversation. And we can stand by and keep on doing the same thing. Yes. Right now, let's stay focused on Trump. But let's start to fight for our futures. And politically, the only way to do that is by what we're doing with our black party.
So what impact do you hope to have in advancing our political interests with our black party?
You know what it's about is like-minded people being able to have a place that they can meet and they can contribute. Because it's not about one person. This whole thing is set up on unity. Will we be able to finally have black unity? Because if we don't, we're on the verge of becoming extinct.
So what does black political power look like to you?
Black political power, it's all rooted in the education, and to be in control of our destiny. Not putting it in somebody else's hands that's coming from outside of the community or doesn't have the community's best interests at heart. And that's success.
If you think Diddy has your best interests at heart, I have some swamp land for sale. Okay. Let's just look at some Diddy's artists that put their career in Diddy's hands and what they have to say about him. All right.
What you say?
He's later on in the game, he turned to a Muslim.
Yeah.
We do not out the picture. Get the picture.
It's going down. Giant Unplugged TV, do not shoot the messenger.
There's no artist that ever was signed to Bad Boy, if you look at it, that was happy enough to stay.
Now that is Mark Curry. He was signed to Bad Boy. He was on the song Bad Boys for Life. If you go and look it up, he's the one that's rapping sitting on a motorcycle in the video. Let's go.
Totally out the picture. Mace, he turned to a pastor. Loon, he's later on in the game, he turned to a Muslim.
Yeah.
Shine is in jail.
And Loon just recently got out of prison.
Black Rob is in jail. Young Jacques just actually got released from the label. But he wasn't happy with being signed to the label because he was signed through Block Entertainment. Bad Boy signed Block Entertainment. So then you just figure, like, if you wanted to talk to them about your deal, like, hey, I need to go to the studio. They say, talk to Block. You be like, hold on, man. Am I signed to Bad Boy or am I signed to Block? Well, you signed to Bad Boy. Well, then, if I want to talk to you about why I can't go to the studio, how come I can't talk to you?
That's
his
argument.
You signed through Block.
Yeah.
So you say, well, who got the money for the studio? Say, Block got the money for the studio.
Why does he have it if I'm not signed to?
Why he got it? Like, so then you look at Block and you say, Block, what's the deal? What's the deal with the money for the budget? And Block say, talk to Puff. So then you
around
be back and Puff. You go in this circle like, hey, hold on, man.
Around and around
I think y'all playing me for one, right? I never been to the studio, amazingly. I never been to the studio to mix down one song, and no producer that ever produced a song for me ever been paid for a track. So that just lets you know exactly how screwed my budget was. The parent label that Puff is signed to might be Universal at the time, or Warner, who he's with. They didn't actually give you $300,000 or $400,000 to do what you want to do with the money.
Yeah.
They gave you that money so you can
allocate it to your
my project or grow it, right? And then you're not doing it. So it was like, you know, I call it stealing. You know what I'm saying? And to me, that's when the robbery comes in. It's like, yo, if you rob me without putting a gun to my head. You know, I'm coming to this studio every day. My mother and father is alive, and they know I'm here working with you, and they're happy, they're proud, because they know that I'm doing something, and you actually robbing me. You're not giving me what the people gave you. So you figure out of the 2.1 they give Puff, he's gonna go buy him a new Bentley or something. And you'd be like, wow, where did this Bentley come from?
You know, no matter what side of...
Now, you still think Puffy has your best interest at heart? Puff is actually asking black people to put their lives in his hands, like these artists did. See what that got them. Okay. Now, let's just see what Shine has to say. The guy that risked his life for Diddy.
Guns, drugs, money. Puffy Combs
was just up and coming, so you know, yeah, it's gonna be a show. But he used that.
Puffy trial. Do you feel that worked against you all? The fact that 99% of the focus was on him.
Obviously, he was the uber star, and I was just up and coming, so you know, yeah, it's gonna be a show. But he used that to just, you know, just threw me off. Like, you know, it was terrible, man.
To many, Jamal Shine Barrow is an answer to a trivia question, as the man who once stood trial alongside Sean Puffy Combs. While all eyes were fixated on the hip-hop mogul, few paid much, if any, attention to the plight of his 22-year-old protege. Now, 3 years into Shine's decade-long sentence, for the first time ever, the imprisoned rapper speaks on camera about his co-defendant and the infamous trial that landed him here, behind bars. People probably have the impression that you're just consumed with the idea that, you know, justice wasn't served here and that somebody turned his back on you.
It's not a matter of, you know, turning your back on me. Like, how do you call a witness to testify against your comrade?
That witness Shine is referring to is Sharice Myers, a bouncer who was working inside Club New York when shots rang out that December night in 1999. In court, Myers claimed that she fell on top of Puffy during the shooting and said that he did not have a gun. But even as her testimony helped exonerate Puffy, it implicated Shine. Myers told jurors that it was Shine who first opened fire inside the club, letting off 2 shots toward the ceiling. Shine's lawyers conceded that their client fired his gun, but only in self-defense. Shine has maintained from the beginning that Myers' testimony, asserting that he was the first to open fire on that fateful night, is untrue.
If I'm telling you that she's lying, and you saying, hey, you know, well, she helping me, but I'm facing 25 years, and you looking at probation. Yeah, those are the things that, you understand, are unacceptable.
This just speaks to the character of Diddy. He would sacrifice someone that was making him money and was considered a comrade. What would you think he would do to you?
You don't have to hold my hand. You don't have to do nothing, but don't try to hurt me.
What continues to haunt Shine to this day is that Myers wasn't called by the prosecution, but rather by his co-defendant's legal team. In his eyes, a move that doomed his own defense.
This woman was the most damaging witness of any witness. She was worse than the prosecution's witness. Right. Which destroyed me, because the prosecution is saying I'm this belligerent, reckless, you know, okay, corralled fella, and then my co-defendant is saying the same thing. That was it. That was it.
MTV News recently asked Sean Combs to respond to Shine's allegations, and he emphatically refuted the rapper's interpretation of events.
I did not force anybody or tell anybody to say anything that would damage or hurt Shine.
Well, how ironic. This was back. Look at the shirt he has on, Vote or Die. And now let's speak of, we're going into this where he has a political party all of a sudden now. Okay. Wow.
In this case, I just wouldn't do that. That would not be my intent whatsoever. And you know, that's all I'm really going to say about the matter. Not to get into any negative back and forth, because y'all know me over the years on MTV News being involved in certain things. Right now, my life is positive, and I'm gonna keep it like that.
Just as damning as Sharice Myers' testimony, according to Shine, was the team of lawyers appointed to him by Sean Combs. Shine says Murray Richmond and others were at one time on the payroll of Combs' record label, Bad Boy. Because Puffy's defense implicated Shine in the shootings, Shine says having his own lawyers bankrolled by Bad Boy posed a conflict of interest.
As I understand it anyway, the fact that your lawyers, as it turns out, originally were on Puff's payroll, on the Bad Boy payroll, that's part of this current effort to get the case retried, right?
More or less. Yeah.
Can you talk a bit about that and when you learned that they were on the Bad Boy payroll?
Well, it was always on the payroll, you dig, but that was at a point where I thought that was my comrade. So, you know, I ain't have it like that. Yeah, you know, I was a fledgling artist. Like, you know, Shine album didn't come out yet, so I didn't really have it like that. But at the point where, you know, he calling the witnesses, you know, to do me dirty, then you understand that, you know, well, man, if these guys is working for him, because I went to the judge like 3 times complaining about inefficiency with my lawyers, because they was just dumbing out. Like, witnesses be on the stand, they would ask them 2 questions that didn't make sense and then sit down. It's obvious that they were selling me, you understand, in order to appease him. You know, there was a dual loyalty there.
Shine's trial attorney, Murray Richmond, responded to Shine's accusations by telling MTV News in a statement, quote, "I had absolutely no connection to Puffy Combs. My checks were handed to me by Shine. I'm sorry he feels animosity towards me. I wish him nothing but the best." Sean Combs echoed those sentiments, telling MTV News that despite Shine's charges, he remains supportive.
I'm not forgetting about Shine. My prayers go out to him. Any support that's needed. You know, we here at Bad Boy, we still here for him. And, you know, we know he's on Def Jam, and we wish him the best of luck. It was an unfortunate incident.
What a snake. What a snake.
Nothing that the man meant to do. He was acting in self-defense. He didn't deserve 10 years, and that's my statement.
As you know,
and that's his statement. Wow.
Lexell reprinted an interview with you from a couple years back. There's a piece with your mom in there, and there's also a response from Puffy in there to some of the allegations that are made that your mom makes. Can I ask you to respond to some of those? Puff in this says that from day one he offered you his legal team as well. That he said that Johnny Cocker and his guys could represent you as well.
Categorically untrue.
He says you offered to pay for your appeal.
Absolutely.
He said there's no beef between me and Shine. Absolutely not. Everything's cool between us. Would you agree with that?
I mean, there is no me and Shine. Like, it's, you know.
There's no relationship there to have a beef, right?
Exactly. You know, he doesn't exist to me, and, you know, it's really that simple.
Now, if you still are not convinced, let's just hear from the locks. You know, Jadakiss, Styles, Sheik Luch. All right, let's go.
Probably don't love me. You want to talk to me? Hello?
What's up?
I mean,
Yo, check this out, man. The last time y'all did this, man, y'all did the whole campaign, let the locks go and all that. Y'all ain't want to be down with Bad Boy, so we let y'all go. Y'all want to be down with us, we let y'all go, we keep it moving. But to get on there and portray like somebody got to go and steal and rob and be shysting y'all, that ain't really correct, you know what I'm saying? First of all, I'm at my office right now. I'm always accessible. Y'all ain't gotta get on the radio and do certain tactics and do certain things to ever holler at me. Jadakiss, last time I saw you, I told you, let's get together, let's talk. You know what I'm saying? I told you I'm accessible. I said, if anything don't come, if there's somebody standing in the way for you expressing yourself, and any of y'all expressing yourself, y'all can come get at me directly. You know what I'm saying? All that throwing the refrigerator and you gonna kill, they ain't killing nobody, man. You know what I'm saying? We businessmen. We all mature adults. Say all that right there. I'm at my office. Y'all can sit on this interview with her and talk as long as y'all want to talk about it. Or you can take the invitation I gave you before. But it's not even getting there because of your get on the radio, whatever tactics. I ain't your enemy.
Dog, we just
you need to bang like that on that's coming at you. I ain't your enemy.
Just yesterday we got a note from your office saying you don't have no idea of none of this or none of nothing.
Just yesterday, your lawyer told us that.
I see you at the show backstage. You said find out what it was.
But don't sit here and portray like Puff took nothing from y'all.
What is it? What is it? What do you call it? What do you call it? What do you call it? And don't say we can come to your office or do none of that, because we can't do none of that.
Street Wars Volume 14.
We can't handle it no other way but with lawyers, and you know that, so don't get on the radio and act like a tough guy or none of that.
You know how we can settle?
You acting tough.
I'm in my office. So why don't we stop talking on the radio?
Now, you want people to stop talking because you just don't want to know the truth, dog. We made one record with you. Money, Power, Respect. It's 10 years later, and you still got half of our publishing. Now, there's no way you can make it justifiable that you said you deserve half of our publishing.
To my face. We just at the concert. You ain't saying nothing.
What are we going to do saying it to your face? Get sued? What do you want?
So, Diddy was at the time still getting publishing off of them, even though they wasn't on Bad Boy anymore. Wow. Now he want black people to trust him for their interests, their best interests. When he didn't even these people was in his face every day, right? They had some kind of relationship, and he was willing to do them like that. Okay, all right, sure.
What you do? We can't touch. We can't be violent or none of that. We can't even have.
You saying all this, dog? 2 years ago, Levels in Miami.
Let's recognize real. Y'all know where the office is at. There's a big sign on it. I'm gonna be there.
The whole National Guard's downstairs too. Cut it out, man. We can't talk.
I'm a grown ass man.
You're a coward.
And I don't take nothing.
You're a thief,
You're a coward.
Don't say you're a thief.
Okay.
You're a
Come to
thief.
the office, man. Come to the office so we can straighten it out there.
Yo, how we just 3 guys you don't even mess with. You had your HB publishing. You don't let his publishing go.
At the office.
And who is he talking about? He's talking about the notorious B.I.G. He still has the notorious B.I.G. publishing.
He cut it. You don't let your man's publishing go.
You argue in front of New York. That's the way you want to
do. You own your man's publishing, dog?
Nothing to y'all, man.
Do you own your man's publishing?
New York could believe it or whatever. I don't
do you own your man's publishing?
I can sleep good at night because I ain't never seen none of y'all. And if y'all ever want
to... Dog, you had a whole bunch of artists that left. Dog, you had a bunch of artists whose careers never went right with you, dog. Be for real, dog. Look at the list.
We don't want to be violent.
You the artist that did best for yourself. Look at your list, dog. Look at all the artists you dealt with. Look at the situation they dealt with. You know what? 12 not happy with you gone. Faith not happy with you gone. We not happy with you gone. Faith not happy with you gone.
Wow. All right, he's hung up. He's gone. He's finished.
Shine jail. Wow.
Exactly. Wow.
If Trump
facing.
Insanity. We got to be able to bang on another sophisticated level, and it's not hard to understand. This is not like a hard sell, but this is the most dangerous thing we could do. This is one of the biggest threats. This in us.
Look how erratic he is. Just look at his body language. Look at his eyes.
Us weaponizing our vote and weaponizing our dollar is the two
is a nightmare.
It's good. It's good to hear you say that, because you know a lot of people initially, when you first said what you said about holding your vote, they immediately was like, Diddy's rich. He wants to see Trump in the White House because it helps rich folks like him. So they thought that you was trying to sabotage the election.
People don't really know me. Like, I'm blessed that I have the money to start this political party. I'm not gonna make no apologies for how much cake I get. You know, that has empowered me. But I know once I get it, I'm going to fund the revolution. I'm a black nationalist. I'm unapologetically black. I have to take care of the tribe first. I cannot sit here.
Just like those artists you took care of? Really?
Here and watch. This is my blood family. How you think I'm gonna be? I can't worry about nothing else. I love everybody. But right now, I gotta make moves and I gotta use my power for the advancement of black people.
This guy is so full of shit. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Because we last.
Have you ever even thought about voting Republican for financial gain because of the tax bracket you're in?
No, that money's not all right. All I gotta do is get to action. I don't care if you understand it, you don't understand.
And you can tell they cut this video. They have cut and edited this video so much. It's ridiculous.
I'm a warrior. I've been in head to head with these folks in corporate America. You know what I'm saying? Like when they ask the question, is there systemic racism? And nobody answers the question. I'm like, yo, no, hold on. This systemic racism, they trying to keep their foot on the neck up to my level, up to Jay-Z's level, up to LeBron's level. It's an illusion of inclusion by just a couple of us. So I could sit back here in the crib, but I'm not with it. I'm from that same block. I'm a frontliner. I'm with the smoke at any time, no matter where my address is at. We're in a war. This shit is not a fucking game. Everybody needs to wake up. I'm ringing the alarm. I'm having to start right now to organize and to come together, and so we can build our political army unapologetically for the things that matter to us.
Do you believe there's a way to vote and support it, like your personal interests and the interests of your people as a whole?
Yeah. See, when you at our Black Party, we love free thinking, free minded people and individuals. That's all we want in life, is to be able to be free and to be able to think as free as we want. But you have a responsibility.
Really? You want people to be free? Then let those artists' publishing go that you own. All right? You really on some free stuff. All right, let them have their publishing back. Let Mace have his publishing back.
To your people to ride on what they riding with for the betterment of the good of the whole overall tribe. We are a people that have been abused the most. And we got to start biting their legs off.
That's right.
You know, when they put their foot on our neck, we got to start biting that shit off. When they shooting us in the back, we got to start defending ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Because ain't nothing going to stop unless you stop it. It's black insanity. We have to get off of this. We have to wake up and see what's going on. The world is watching.
Because it's such an easy conversation to have in regards to blackness.
Listen, it's so easy for them, these guys, to talk about fighting back when we all know they are not. Neither of them are going to be fighting. None of the elite black people that there is, they want to call themselves elite. They think of themselves as the elite. None of them are going to be fighting alongside of you when they start. If you listen to them and you go along with their rhetoric and go out and start fighting and starting riots and stuff like that, they're not going to be along with you fighting. They're not going to be on the front line with you fighting. They're going to be in their big mansions, sitting in their comfortable homes behind a locked gate with security.
Whether it's the way coronavirus impacted our communities, whether it's police brutality, all those underlying conditions that the black community was already facing. coronavirus exposed. So it's an easy conversation to have, and they still not willing to have it.
Everybody should have the same opportunity. I mean, anything else is ungodly.
We did shift the conversation for a minute, though. Yeah. When you said to hold your vote, it did shift the conversation. So do you think that threat to hold your vote was more detrimental than beneficial? Because it sounded like you saying.
I think the hold your vote is the only leverage that we've imposed. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Besides that, we just fell in line. I mean, hold your vote was, you know, it's the tone. It's a tone that we should have had, but we didn't have it, and now we in the trick bag. So we gotta, number one, Trump gotta go.
And then what?
We starting to take responsibility and we starting to invest in our futures politically. A lot of us as celebrities, we have great platforms, and we have to lend those platforms that we have to the right social and political leaders, and we have to do it together. We need to wake up. We don't have a seat at the table. We don't need to wait. Because there's local elections going on. There's people that are planning right now for the future. We're using this as a...
We don't need a seat at the table. We need our own table. We don't need a seat at the table. As long as we're in someone else's house, sitting at the table, we're guests. Okay? We're guests. And right now we don't have a seat at the table. We don't need a seat at the table. We don't need to be begging for a seat. We need our own. See, he wants you. See, Diddy has wealth that's theirs, right? They own the wealth. So he can't really fight for you and have your best interests at heart when his wealth is really controlled by them. So once his wealth is threatened, it's compromised. He's going to compromise. That's why he's fighting for a seat. I just want a seat at the table. He just wants a seat at the table. We don't need a seat. We need our own table. We need our own table in our own house.
Springboard to not just give our vote away. We're gonna do what we have to do because it's between good and evil, but at the same time, we have to look out for ourselves.
So how can politicians earn the black vote? 'Cause I think a lot of times we put...
Why are black people the only people on planet Earth that their entertainers are their spokespersons? Black people are the only culture that has entertainers as their spokespersons. These people, God is money. So who owns the money? Okay, that'll tell you who runs them.
Put so much pressure on black voters to show up for politicians, but we don't put enough pressure on politicians to show up for us. So how can they earn our vote?
Neither candidate has earned our vote or has even tried. They haven't even gone to our communities. And when I say our communities, the communities I'm from where the roaches and the rats are. I live here now, and that's because, you know, this is God's will, and I worked for it. But I still smell the pissy hallways. I still feel the roaches. I still taste the cheese sandwiches. And so there's other people that are going through that, and that are...
This dude is worse than Joe Biden. He still feels the roaches. He still tastes the cheese sandwiches as if everybody in the hood has roaches and rats and eat cheese sandwiches. Really? Like, the ideology of these people. He has an elitist ideology. He doesn't have, listen, Diddy doesn't, he don't have the mindset, and he can't, he doesn't have the mindset of a regular average black person. He has an elitist mindset. He has the same mindset as Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and the rest of them.
Suffering. That's not in the illusion of everything going on the ground. We have a whole community of people, a mass of people that's living in poverty. And not everybody's black. It's all people that right now, you know, they need us to step up and to stand up and to do something to change the trajectory. So if we have power, we gotta ride hard for the people that don't have the power.
I feel like you're approaching this the way you would approach corporate America.
I'm really approaching it like a war. Like for me, the only way to really be honest about it is I have to declare war.
But isn't that what you did to corporate America, so to speak?
Yeah, but anything that's, you know, that is about oppressing us and keeping us down, nah, I want to break its neck. I want to run it out of town forever. So I'm not.
Look at this dude's face. Did he just threaten the president?
Like, nah, this is what we doing. We're gonna do it legally. All right? We're gonna do it legally. We're gonna play y'all game, but we're gonna play that game better. Because these older cats that's running for office, these white-haired older cats, they about to be dead. These kids out here, they wanna live, they wanna fucking thrive. They can't thrive if it keeps on going in this direction. And you know, this election is an example. This is a tipping point because they haven't talked about the youth and they haven't talked about black people. I haven't even heard them talk about Latinos. They're not even talking about us. They're in a reality fucking freak show playing a game and people are losing their lives. And so that's why this time is so important. And this time for us to mobilize and to not be scared and to do something. Why have we never had our own black political party? Fuck that. We're doing it now. I don't care if it's just 1,000 of us. It's 1,000 real ones, which it should be millions. It should be every person that's a part of the community. You know, if you could sign up for Instagram, you could sign up for our black party.
Sound to me like you think we're on the verge of a civil war.
If Trump gets elected, I really do believe in my heart there'll be a race war. And that's why this message is not just to black people. You know what I'm saying?
No, it won't. He'll try to manipulate you and make you think there would be, but there's more black people that's gonna vote for Trump than there were last time. Stop falling for it. This guy is literally a con artist. That's how he made his money, being a con artist. Conning people out of their publishing and all that.
Messages to everybody. You know, this man is really trying to turn us against each other and put us in a situation. And you got to understand, America messed up. They flooded the hood with guns. So I don't know this notion of we don't have guns.
They plotted to kidnap the governor of Michigan.
Okay, they flooded the hood with guns. And you made millions and millions and millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars off of perpetuating the violence in the hoods, which would be from guns, gun violence. So what was your point with that? They put guns in the hood. You made money off of the ideology of being a gangster. Gangsters use guns.
White supremacists. So that what you're saying is true. Yes, it's going to be violence. There's going to be problems, and he's stirring it up.
Yeah, and so I feel the way we can stop us from getting to that point of violence is all unifying together and voting him out. This whole thing is set up even at my level.
Wow, look at the edits in this.
Saying even at the level of hip hop, you know, things are set up to try to stop us from growing and being as great as we want to be. So the same thing with Revolt. I had to go and really go to war with all of the distributors, and people have fell in line, but it's not easy. It's not easy for me, for Jay, for Oprah. They still treat us like niggas. I don't want nobody to get it twisted. Whatever we are right now, we could probably be 10 times bigger. So we starting right now with our political power, and then we going to owning our economics. And war will be waged on corporate America that takes advantage of our dollars
and thinks we're not going to fight back.
You think we spend too much time glorifying like rap and entertainment and athletics, and we weren't encouraging our kids to be elected?
This dude is literally leading. If you listen to him, you're headed to the slaughter. There is no winning this with him.
Officials, be politicians, be police officers, whatever it was. You think we spent too much time focusing on people on the wrong things?
Not at all. I think the people that have made it, it's important now that we don't become an illusion of inclusion. Okay. The people that made it are definitely points of inspiration globally. Because this is a global problem. You see what's going on in Nigeria. You see what's going on around the world. This is a global problem, the whole global diaspora. Us making it and hip-hop being at the forefront and sports being at the forefront, that was a part of the evolution. And entertainment, now we have to break down the doors into other fields. It has to go from inside out. So everybody we hire and people we do business with, we got to make sure that they really have African-American diversity. So we got to weaponize our vote and we got to weaponize our economy. Right now.
All right. I had enough of Diddy. If you listen to Diddy, you're headed for the slaughter. This dude he doesn't have your best interests at heart. I mean, this guy has always been about that one thing, that dollar. He have sold all his artists out for the dollar. And if you think he will do otherwise with you, well, like I said, I have some swampland for sale. You can buy that. Well, that's gonna wrap this episode up. Get in the comments how y'all like the new setup.